right, at every transaction. So this is really important, right, because we want them to spend more at every transaction, and so we have to give them the opportunity to spend more without irritating them, right, without making them feel like we're the used car salesman with a big bow tie, right? So we're trying to make sure they spend more at every transaction, and so we're making available, even to the point of getting our staff, right, getting our staff to make offers, right, not in an overt way, but getting them getting them to make sure that the customer knows, well, you know what, you got this available. You can also pick up this, Mr. Obese Man. You can also pick up this, and do you have? And to get them in the habit of asking questions, right? Getting them in the habit of asking questions so that they know what's available to them, to make things again, so they can enjoy this faster. Right? How can they get results faster? How can they get them results better? And getting everybody sort of in line to ask questions so that they know that's how they're going to get it, by getting these other things. And of course, more customers are one way, two customers, and we're going to kind of get into this in the third point, and that is bringing them back faster. So how do we bring these customers back faster? And this is really probably, over and above everything else, the most effective right now in terms of generating continual streams of business from existing customers, right? Because that's the thing. If I've already spent $7 on Facebook or YouTube or whatever the case, if I've already spent $7 for these, everything that this guy spends with me, becomes profit, right? So I not only do I want to get new customers, I want to get this customer to spend more with me, because as I do, that's when my ROI goes up, right? Everything becomes a higher return when I get this person to spend more with me. And so I'm going to do that with, it's a fancy way of calling it, but we call it database or email marketing, right? So, and there are other ways to do it. I mean, you can get people on a fan page. You can get people to subscribe to a YouTube channel. I still don't think that there is a way to beat email at this point. We're not at that point yet in our society. I mean, there are ways, to get people into an app, like a mobile app, push notifications. I still think that we still, as a society, we're still processing email, or at least the people who have money do. So what we want to do at this stage, or at really when I meet my prospect, I got to get them into some kind of contact database at the top of the funnel. And I'm going to say primarily this is email. Right? And so whether or not I get them to sign up for an email list, and typically I'm going to be offering them some kind of incentive. I'm going to be offering them some kind of coupon. I'm going to be offering them something that will bring them back to the location, bring them back to the website, bring them back to me for some reason, if they go ahead and opt in. And then once they opt in, right? Once they become part of my email list, well, what am I going to do then? Well, what I'm going to do then, once they become part of this, I'm going to build a relationship, right? I'm going to build a relationship with them in my emails. And so this relationship is the key to bringing them down this funnel, right? Because then they get to know me personally, right? They get to know me personally. And then I start to talk to them about the things that they need. I start to educate them. I start to help them with whatever it is that their problem is. Because you probably already know, because you've explained it pretty well. You probably already know, if I were to ask you what are the 10 things that people who are obese are concerned about, you could probably enumerate those things, right? And so what you talk about in your email, right, is that, right? So what are the top 10 signs? These 10 signs could be, the subject of this week's email could be, these are the signs that, you could be diabetic. You need to do something about it. And so this person is getting an email, and what they're getting from you is that you're concerned, right? You're not selling, but you are selling. You're selling. You're telling them, well, look, you're probably you need to be concerned about this, and so here are the signs. Here are the things that you should be thinking about. And as you think about these things, here's how to solve them. Number one, come in for a consult or whatever, or check out this information. Right, and I'll get to that here near the end, like information products. And so this email database, a person or a business owner can mimic this, right, on a fan page these days, right? It can be mimicked on a fan page. I still don't think there's any substitute for it. It can be mimicked in a YouTube channel, right? It can be mimicked in an app. All right, but I still think that these are secondary ways to getting someone to read an email. And if when they get an email, right, from a small business owner that's talking about them, right, because during the email, we're not talking about us. We're not talking about what we have to offer. The key to emails is talk about them, right? So what's happening with them? So it's not we're having a big sale. It's what's happening with you. Here's what you need to be thinking about. Here's what you need to be doing. Here's what you need to be talking about, them. And so each email that they get on a regular basis just continues to reinforce you as a trusted advisor. Trusted advisor. And that's what this relationship becomes, right? That's what the relationship is, because when you become their sort of like their guru, their Buddha, their trusted advisor, then when we tell them, well, hey, you know what? We do have a sale coming up. We do have a sale coming up, and it's something else in the funnel. They're going to say, hey, you know what? That's the guy I've been reading this stuff from. These are going to be the people that are going to be opening emails. And so they're going to be more open to a direct communication. And so the key to email, right, is not to look corporate. Like Amazon, right? And an Amazon email is just stuff to buy, which is cool. And they send emails every day. But for those of us who are in small business, we want it to be personal, right? We want it to be from Charles, right? Charles sent me an email today. Charles did. Not, the company, not the outfit. It's from Charles. It's from Paul, right? Paul sent me an email today. And he was telling me about, this thing I need to be thinking about, how I need to be eating. Maybe I don't need to be eating at night, that kind of thing. And he's telling me about these things. And so when Paul says, hey, there's I've got this information product. This will really help you. They say, hey, yeah, Paul. Paul said that. Maybe I'm going to think about that. I'll go ahead and I'll pick some of these things up. So really, out of all these things, right? We talked about there are 3 ways to increase business: more customers, get customers to spend more, bring customers back faster. And there are going to be some ways that now that we have internet technology that we can do this that I'll kind of get into. So the third thing is building a contact database. So now the fourth thing is going to be what I call joint ventures and alliances. And there are a number of ways to do this, and I'm only going to touch on a few of them. But in terms of joint ventures and marketing alliances, it's probably one of the most underused things that a small business has in their toolbox, but it is powerful, in this way, in that a marketing alliance means then you have a business out there. You have tons of businesses. Every business does. They have these businesses that are not competing, but same customers. Right? And when we go through the in-depth workshop, what we do is we have people write these things out, right? We write them out. Who's in the market? Who's not competing, but who has the same customers? Because these are going to be the folks that we are going to start thinking about developing an alliance with. What kind of alliance? Could be any kind, but the most powerful alliance is going to be coming back to this, right? And a good partner, how do I know who a good partner is and good alliance is? All I have to really do is to get onto their email list. Because if they're marketing effectively and they're going to do well, they're going to do right by me, they're already emailing their customers. And so this is going to be somebody that will then send an email to me, to their people on my behalf. Hey, you know what? Met this great guy, his name is Paul, and I know we've been talking about this. One of the things that we haven't been able to do, we'll offer this to you. And these arrangements don't have to be monetary. They don't have to end up in a partnership where you got to have a formal arrangement. It just could be simple as I mail for Paul, Paul mails for me, right? Or it can be financial. So in other words, a joint venture, an alliance is we just kind of agree that, you know, I'll keep a fishbowl for you, you keep a fishbowl for me, figuratively or literally. A joint venture could be that I have a coupon, right? I have a coupon that says you get $10 with Paul. You know, when you do this one thing. And so I'm giving that coupon to my customer. You're giving a similar coupon to your customer on my behalf. And so this becomes mutually beneficial, and we can do this over and over and over and over and over again with as many JV partners as we want. The prerequisite is that they are not competing with us, right? But they have the same customers, right? And so this takes some time to kind of iron out, but it is worth the trouble. And so the pitch to them is, and the pitch to them is, I have X number of customers. I have X number on my email list. I have X number on my fan page. And I'd like to develop an alliance with you, right? You know, I know we have the same customers. We're not directly competing. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to tell your customers about me, and I will tell my customers about you on a pretty regular basis, right? So a JV and a marketing alliance, it can be formal, but it can just be really informal. But it can be multiplied over as many businesses as you can find. Now, obviously, you know, the thing to avoid would be not to get businesses that would be competing against your other JV alliances. But there are always people who are going to be willing to do this, right? And so that's sort of like the fourth thing. Let's see. Do I have a? I guess I better erase some of this. Now, the fifth thing is going to be. Let's see what I'm going to erase here. Oh, sure. Yep.
My partner is. Thank you.
Yeah, right on.
Working right now, so
Yeah, great. Okay, so the fifth thing. Sydney, how am I on time? Okay, all right. Okay, so the fifth thing and you've already experienced some of this, is media advertising. And so, I mean, the key to media advertising is match, right? So match. And so is my demographic in the place where I'm actually advertising? Because in some cases, for $1 per ad spend, right? For $1 per ad spend, the person can be, if we're talking about the internet, it could be on LinkedIn, it could be on Facebook. Okay, most people are going to be on are going to do Facebook advertising because the targeting is so good. However, in some cases, the demographic of people who spend money may or may not be there. And so the key is going to be ad spend. Then there's traditional media, newspaper, radio, television, and then now there is Google AdWords, YouTube, which is incredibly powerful yet cheap, and then even Gmail, right? And this is still, the jury's still